Welcome back to Yogi and the Beach Man. And want to let you all know this is going to be the final episode of Yogi and the Beach Man. But don't worry, the podcast is going to continue. We're just rebranding and changing the name. And the biggest change, I've been kind of putting out teasers lately that there's going to be big changes to this podcast. And there is, the Beach Man will no longer be joining me in these podcasts. It'll be me and my guest and solo cast when I'm doing solo cast. Today, I'm really excited to announce that Cathy Perez from Northport, Florida is with us today. So welcome, Cathy. Appreciate you taking time to be with me on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And Cathy is a grace healer, is that correct?
I'm a grace worker, grace
Grace
healer.
worker.
I'm not a person who loves titles, but I think I could go with a grace worker.
And what is a grace worker?
Uh, it allows me to, well, first, whenever we ask for grace, we have to be able to share that same grace with others. So in this world where it's difficult to be kind at times, it's hard to have patience with others. We have to hold that grace for everybody. So in every area where we can. So whether it is just smiling at the person who's having a hard time in front of you, sending out a prayer, doing something that's helpful, or really just being kind. That's, to me, that's what it's all about.
I love that. One of my biggest themes in life is oneness and
Mm,
trying to always be mindful of that we are all one. And
yes,
what we do to another is what we're doing to ourselves. And
exactly.
so what you're talking about with this grace work of smiling, being cheerful, uplifting people, I think it's so important.
It
And
is.
it's like I feel like I'm on this mission to promote the understanding of oneness.
Great. So I'm glad that we found each other then.
Me too, me too. And I mentioned right before the show that my wife, she was like, "Who are you podcasting with today?" I'm like, "Cathy Perez." She goes, "That name's familiar," and she looked it up and she did some raindrop,
It's called a raindrop, excuse me, excuse me, a raindrop therapy.
raindrop.
Really, really wonderful session. I'm sure she told you about it.
She did,
But
yeah.
it's a matter of using young living oils
Mm-hmm.
on the reflex spine on the foot as well as the back, which actually allows the spine to relax away from the nervous system
Okay.
and release where we hide many things like bacteria, virus, pain, and emotion. It's a
Oh.
very relaxing session, and it helps you to work towards optimum health. Optimum health.
Okay. And what type of people should be seeking this type of treatment?
Um, Anybody that needs to learn how to relax, which a lot of people have a hard time with that, that want to de-stress, that are experiencing pain, such as fibromyalgia, Lyme's disease, back pain. And a lot of times it's meant to restructure the spine in a way, not like a chiropractor, but obviously, again, the fact that it's relaxing away from the nervous system where we hide so much just
Hmm.
helps to release a lot. So the people could just come away from there very relaxed. Sometimes they may go through some emotion, but that's the release of it. Um, but it's wonderful. All of the oils together support the immune system, um, again, the nervous system, and they all have a job and they all know what to do. And so they're going to help the person in the way that it is needed.
I see. So are
Mhm.
these oils in the work you're doing, is it like relaxing the erector spinae and those muscles that the spine use to stay
Mhm.
in alignment?
Yes, I am not a massage therapist.
Uh-huh.
I'm a spiritual healer coach, which means I anoint with oils.
Okay.
So I mean, I use them in so much of what I do, even when I'm just doing some energetic work, my healing touch or quantum touch. I will use certain meridians on the body with certain oils that are going to help that area.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it's intuitive, and other times, of course, it's by research of what the client will need. And I use a lot of different sound, vibration, and frequency in healing as well.
Okay. How are you producing the sound?
I use singing bowls,
Oh.
rattles, chimes, my voice. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
a singer, but I do use whatever spirit leads me to pick up from all of my tools, and I have many of them. Just to bring a vibration, because our body is a vibration and a frequency, and so when you
Right.
match that, it
Yeah.
really it's amazing. I mean, YouTube is filled with frequency musics for everything,
Mm-hmm.
binaural beats, etc. And when you play those, the body recognizes it and can come back to that, to that homeostasis of being what it's supposed to be, and it's so helpful. It really, really
Yeah.
is. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned the anointment that you do, and a lot of people think that, or not a lot, but some people think that the New Age stuff and this and whatever is kind of foo-foo, but anointment
Woo.
with oil goes way back to biblical times.
Oh my gosh. That was the first part of my training, was
Yeah.
understanding the biblical oils, and what they were for. I mean, Jesus anointed people,
Yeah.
with oils, but the body was always anointed with oils, and everything that we need is here. It's always been here.
Yeah.
And so I don't ever say to anybody, oh, you have to stop going to the doctor, because that is just not how it works. I mean,
Mhm.
everything can work in tandem. So it's like, at times it could be a supplement, again, just helping the person. uh, I mean, the minute we relax and de-stress, our cells are happier, and we can heal better from the inside out.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that, so many people deal with anxiety and they don't realize that they're in a constant state of fight or
Oh my
flight,
goodness. Yeah.
and being able to relax it's really a practice.
It
People
is. I mean, the other
have
day,
no idea how to
it's
relax.
so hot here in Southwest Florida,
Yeah.
and the air was so heavy, and I don't have asthma, but I just every now and then have a hard time breathing. But there was a little bit of a weird panic, and so I obviously was feeling the world. But so just tapping. I was just doing a little bit of tapping, kind of helping to reset my nervous system. So I love to teach people, or let people know what's available to them immediately, without having to just take a pill or go
Yeah.
to the emergency room, etc. There are things that are available right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Heal thyself if you can, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
Absolutely.
the raindrop therapy, is that your primary practice or?
That's my primary practice. And in as much as that it is a primary practice, what happens in a session most times is that they're getting my energy work as well. So
Hmm.
I'm going to follow through on the practice itself. And then if I'm led, like it said to you, to place different oils in different places in tandem with the ones that are part of this therapy, I will do that. There are times that I may receive some messages, uh, or be focused on a certain area of the body and ask
Yeah.
that client about that area. And then a lot of times we can relate it back to emotions or some of their traumas. And then from there, if I'm with a client and I'm working on a long term, I usually will help them work through things. I've had clients that, for example, may have had kidney issues, a lot of kidney stones. And
Hmm.
when you take that back to the emotion, it's usually abuse and trauma or grief. It could be a lot of different things. And when we work there energetically, when we understand it, when we can bring those feelings up and work with them, a lot of times we can help alleviate the pain, what is happening in the body, and release it, because it has to show up somewhere.
Yeah.
Everything that we hold inside has to show up somewhere because it wants to be released. So it's so hard for me to say this is all I do, because whatever my guides, my angels, God is giving to me
Hmm.
is what I bring into the practice.
I love it. Now,
Mhm.
when you talk about energy work, is that primarily Reiki or just kind of an intuitive energy
So,
work?
so I have a lot of things in my toolbox. My first main energy modality is called healing touch. It comes from hospice nurses.
Okay.
So it's helping people to clear through the energy systems, clear through the aura. I can help people transition. I'm not a death doula because I don't
Hmm.
do everything that they do, but I have helped a lot of people transition and release the things that are holding them back. Excuse me one second. But we were talking actually more, we were talking about hospice nurses in healing touch and helping people transition. I'm sorry about that. That's where we were.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm sure for anybody at the hour of death, there's some fear because it's the fear of the unknown.
Right.
So being there with a person, whether they're conscious with us or not, I can work with their spirit and help
Hmm.
bring them to a doorway or a threshold, however we try to let them see that,
Yeah.
so that they feel not alone necessarily. And of course, I mean, there's a belief that they're being met as well.
Hmm.
Um, so that I really enjoy being able to help somebody with that, to do that. And then I'm also a shamanic healer. um, I I can actually work with people. Um, a lot of times during a healing session, their soul may go outward, and I can track the soul and help bring it back into the body, so that they come back into the session because they're so happy that they're out having a great time in the
Yeah.
cosmos somewhere. But
So
again,
wait, during the session, the soul leaves the body and then you help bring it back in?
sometimes it can, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll go outward because we're taking them. I might be taking them to a space. Usually, when I'm working through the energy centers and I get to the third eye, I
Hmm.
like to take people to a place I call the meadow, and I help them build a very safe, beautiful place of their own making. And sometimes they're just so joyful there, that it's like, okay, I need you to come back now and come back in. And I've had a few people that I'm like, okay, come on now, let's do this. We got to come back. But
Yeah.
just that they're so, their consciousness has gone to such a great place, and their soul is
Sure.
happy there. So just help bring them back in. But I do help people do. I a lot of times hold a shamanic journey
Hmm.
with Mother Earth and animals, etc. And of course, each animal has its meaning.
Sure.
So we'll focus on, maybe strength or, what does the jaguar mean? All those things inside that session, and I take people on that journey and help them meet that spirit animal. Sometimes they'll be accompanied by their spirit animals. Could be different from what we're working with, but it's just a wonderful thing to do, to be in that space with everybody and hold space for them while they're journeying. I really enjoy that. And of course, I'm a steward of the earth. Gotta love Mother. Gotta take
Oh,
good
yeah.
care of her.
Yeah.
Take good care of her and her creatures. That's most
Sure.
important.
I'm a big
Definitely.
proponent of that. Absolutely.
Yes.
But
Absolutely.
there's a lot of modalities here you're working with. How did you get?
Yeah. My toolbox is pretty vast.
Yeah.
And I just love it. Um, and I love people. I really do.
How did you get trained in all these different modalities?
It's funny because um, I think I've probably done a lot of it my whole life without
Hmm.
knowing that it had a name or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
for years, I was a kitchen designer at Home Depot,
Okay.
and people, you spend a lot of time with people doing
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
some people would say to me, "Oh, I just feel so when I'm here, I feel great talking to you." And then, of course, your conversations go on into other things, and
Hmm.
you just attract the right people. And then in 2018, there were five. I think there was about five of us like-minded people that thought, oh, it might be kind of fun to put a shop together. There had been somebody in the area that had a great shop, and we were all moving away from there, and we got together, and then slowly that changed. And around COVID, um, I would say, uh, you know, um, I had already started to practice Raindrop. I had already started to practice healing touch because in Florida, you have to have a license to touch people without if you're not a massage therapist. And uh, unfortunately, Reiki is labeled in the state of Florida as massage when you don't need to touch people. doing
Oh,
Reiki.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Mhm. Yeah, it is. It's definitely, yeah, it's weird. I guess it's just confused or whatever, but it's not massage at all.
that.
And, at when we hit around COVID and after that, people, there's a lot of fear in the world. There's a lot of unsurety,
Yeah.
and people just started coming in. We had started out as a very fun and eclectic place to be, and it became a place where people needed to be able to feel safe, not judged. A place where they could come and gather comfortably and sit and talk about many things. And in 2021, it had become me as a sole proprietor, and I really was then able to form it into what I wanted it to be. And that's where, I think you caught me with people supporting people. Um,
Yeah.
and that's so important to me, to be able to offer that safe and non-judgmental space to people, to offer them an opportunity to begin to be who they are meant to be, whether it's metaphysical, coaching. I've come to realize that I have a really vast community of people,
Hmm.
that have come together. Um, and I really enjoy that. So even though I no longer have the center that, people were working out of, or practicing out of, I still love to promote them. You know, I still love to let people know that here's a resource. Here's a wonderful resource for you. Somebody who is very good at what they do, and
Hmm.
may be the person for you. It's kind of like having the doctor list. It's like, well, this
Yeah.
doctor's great for that. So why don't you go see them? It's the same kind of thing. I mean,
A
you
little
know,
networking.
right? This person can do this for you, and this person does massage, and this person works in Chinese medicine, and this person. So, I'm always going to promote the people that I think are a great resource, for others to work towards their healing. And,
Well,
and
stick around after this podcast because I'd
Mhm.
like to pick your brain on some of those names and get them on the podcast as well. If they're
Absolutely. I will do that. That's what it's all about, is helping
yeah,
people, helping everybody know what's available to them. We just
right.
spent, um, we are always a big part of Spirit Fest, which is going to be in Punta Gorda, this in August. I think it's the 9th and the 10th. And
Okay.
we were just at their first wellness fair,
Hmm.
last weekend.
Yeah.
And for me, the important thing, we had a little bit of everything on the table, and we had some of our healing, modalities to work. And it was just important to let people know how much is out there for them, that could change their life drastically. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of people don't know about these different practices, and I
yeah,
think it's so important. Can
no.
you
And I
talk a
think
little
it
bit
goes
more
back
about
to
Spirit
woo woo.
Fest?
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
sorry.
Can you talk a little bit more about Spirit Fest? I'd like to. I'm not
Oh,
familiar.
yes.
I'm
So,
new to Florida, just so you know. I've only been living in Port Charlotte for a little over a year.
oh my goodness. I want to
Yeah.
get you caught up.
Right?
So, Spirit Fest is run by Sanctuary, um, for Body, Mind, and Spirit. Mary Ellen Popick is the person who heads it up. They are all over the state of Florida, and I believe they go outside of Florida as well.
Okay.
So it brings together, healers, readers, um, uh, uh, people who do sound and frequency, crystals. I mean, it's an amazing fair to be at, and I know that this year it sold out already, like over a month ago, for vendors and practitioners, and a lot of them, are there all the time, so they're favorites, and people come back to see them, because they don't necessarily live in the area, and, some of them do, some of them don't. This year, they are adding on, starting on Friday the 8th, a Wisdom of Light conference with a group. I mean, I think there's 6 to 8 people, that are going to be, part of this for a really nice package price for you to do their conference, and then at some point, then you can join into to Spirit Fest itself. So that'll be at the Punta Gorda Convention Center, right over the
Okay.
bridge,
Mm-hmm.
on the 9th and the 10th, with the Wisdom Conference starting on the 8th, I believe. So yeah, I'll get you some great information for that. But it's such a fun place. I mean, a lot of different things happening there. You can find just about anything, and find some
Yeah.
really great people to work with.
I love that. I've got to go. I'll mark that on my calendar.
Yes, please. Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Gosh, there was something I wanted to ask you as we were going through this, but then I started to think about this Spirit Festival.
Uh-huh.
But I'm asking about the statue behind you, actually. Is that Krishna playing the flute?
I believe so. And I'm not very good at stop it. At who's who, but yes, that's the flute playing.
Okay.
That's the flute playing Buddha, Krishna. However, I don't necessarily. I believe all religions are one. I mean, we all have one meaning,
Hmm.
like you said, oneness. I believe the
Yeah.
world is chaotic as it is right now. We're working towards oneness, wholeness, and we will get there
Yeah.
eventually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Yes, let's do it. So
Yeah, I'm with you.
I thought of the question I wanted to ask you.
Hmm.
Worked with many people with neuropathy.
That's me too. Yeah, I have neuropathy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hmm. You're asking about solutions? Is that what you're
Yeah, yeah.
asking?
If you work with
Mm-hmm.
people with neuropathy, if you've had any success,
Mm-hmm.
uh, as I'm a registered nurse,
Oh,
and right
great.
now I'm doing in-home foot care, and
Mm-hmm.
so I have a lot of patients, and I also play pickleball, and I know people there, and
Yay.
they're early stages of neuropathy sometimes because a lot of pickleball players are older in their 70s and 80s,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so a lot of them are looking for help.
Yeah, it's um it's funny because I'm not an expert, but I know from my
Hmm.
own experiences. For me, it's a lot of different things. I had a back injury in '89, and I made sure that I exercised and danced and did everything that I could do to keep my back healthy. That was really important. But as we get older, our systems start to shut down. And I know for me, I suffer with a lot of uh, uh, I don't have enough like vitamin D, or I don't have enough iron or whatever. And that kind of exacerbates it. Um,
Yeah.
I have had, one of the practitioners that I work closely with for a lot of years, Kendra from she has the Crystal Mage and Energy Hugs, and she does Eden energy medicine.
Okay.
And so again, you're moving energy through the body. And when she will do work on me, especially on my feet, it's like the only time I can feel my feet on the floor totally. It's like so weird.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of, again, traumas. And for me, I think a lot of ancestral type of stuff gets stuck in certain
Hmm.
places. I know there's a guy on TikTok that does kinesiology, and he uses
Yeah.
the guashas and stuff. And the person's moaning and groaning, but I'm like, I want to find him because I want to break this stuff up and get it out of me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm sure you and I could put our heads together at some point, and I can connect you. I know there's a lovely young lady, Ashley. She works in traditional medicine. She's a PA. She's been a PA for a very long time. She works in traditional medicines as well as Chinese medicine, and she's taught us a lot about the meridians. And so our body, you already know, our body is an amazing thing. And there's
Yeah.
so many places to explore that can be very, very helpful. I have to tell you, it is hard for me when I look at the elderly people with the purpley legs, and it hurts me. It physically
Yeah.
hurts me to look at them. And I just send as much love as I can, but helping them with circulation is really as much as we can do. And the raindrop has been helpful for a lot of people.
Hmm.
And again, like I said, different oils that I will try to add in, that helps alleviate some of that. But I
Yeah,
don't know if there's a
absolutely.
cure, to tell you the truth, but we can.
Yeah, it's almost like, there's the preventative part is so
Yeah.
important. And, you
Hmm.
get to a certain point and it's hard to reverse things, especially with vasculature. And so I'm
Hmm.
always encouraging people, get out and walk, ride a bike, do things that create that
Yeah.
circulation in the lower
Yeah.
body because it's very important to your health. You
It's
don't think of
so
the lower
important.
body being important to your health. You think of all the vital organs inside, but
Hmm.
without that circulation, problems just start happening. So,
Oh yeah, my guy was yelling at me before we got on the podcast. You need to go walking with me. I'm like, yes, I know. Recently, recently I was in Portugal and we went down and it's a lot very hilly, and we went
yeah,
down a wrong hill. And oh Lord, I had to come back up that hill, and I just realized how out of shape I am. So I better call the pot calling the kettle black. I need to get out there and get my circulation going again as well. That cardio is really important. Very,
it
very.
really is. It really
Hmm.
is. You
Definitely.
mentioned kinesiology. Do you know anybody in the area that's doing
Uh,
kinesiology?
I want to say at one time somebody gave me information on someone in Fort Myers area.
Okay.
But again, I have a lot of reach as far as people who would know, and I could find that out for you. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it's for those of you that don't know what kinesiology is, it's really doing muscle testing. Your body will send a message
Hmm.
uh, letting you know if something's good for you or bad for you, sometimes by
Hmm.
just placing that substance on you and then testing the muscle if
Yes.
it's tight or loose. Again,
Hmm.
it sounds like foo-foo, but if you've had it done, you go, oh my gosh.
I know, it's
Like
amazing.
it is
Hmm.
because one of the tests, you hold your arm straight and people push on your arm, and if it
Yep.
doesn't go down, it's fine. And then if it goes down, no, you shouldn't have that.
Right.
Um, and I thought, oh, this is the first time I had it done. I'm like, oh, this is baloney. No one's going to be able to push my
Mhm.
arm down that easily. And then all of a sudden they put something on me and it's like, "Whoop," my arm goes out. Like I couldn't hold it up. My body was like, no. And it was actually, I was growing my own SCOBY and making kombucha.
Okay.
Yeah, and this lady did kinesiology on me. She said, "Yeah, don't drink the kombucha. Your body doesn't want you to." I'm like, all right.
I have to tell you, so the arm test, Kendra does a lot of the arm testing. And I've never been able to, even though I've done some Eden classes with her, I've not been able to really get that in my mind. So I could do this the sway. So I can hold on to, like, say, a supplement and be still
Yeah.
enough and ask, usually they say forward is yes and back is no. That works for me a lot. And then
Okay.
intuitively, it was funny because during I was taking a ton of supplements, and not necessarily really high brands or whatever. But I was like, at COVID, I was told spiritually, stop taking all that crap. So I was like, okay.
Which,
So I've been layering back
which crap are you
in
referring to?
better quality stuff. Oh, it was just like off the shelf, just off the shelf kind of stuff,
Okay.
vitamins and stuff
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
listen, it's like essential oils. When the FDA, the FDA will allow you to say it's pure 100% therapeutic grade essential oils, but there's only 5% of oil in the bottle and the rest is junk.
Yeah.
So people get mad when something's expensive, and unfortunately, hopefully we can get this changed along the line, but people will get angry that something's more expensive, but that's how
Hmm.
you know it's the better for you, truly.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that in the future things will be more attainable for us, more affordable and more attainable for better health. So
Hmm.
that we're using the proper things that we need for our body and not just getting what almost like a placebo type of effect, so
Right.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. My wife and I have been using Young Living oils for years.
That's
Um,
me since 1998.
yeah. I
Yep.
know there's another brand out there that's equally as uh, good. I
There
think
are
it's
some good brands out there.
yeah.
doTERRA came
That's
from
fair.
Young Living,
That's
so
it.
they're pretty close within maybe one or two ingredients of
Hmm.
an oil. um I wasn't aware of them until I came to Florida, and people would get a little, little they'd get a little tight with it, and I'd say, listen, you're using something that's good for you. Let's find the cross brands and let's make sure that you're just keeping healthy. I'm not
Yeah.
about who's who. I just want to make sure
Right.
that you're doing what's good for you, that kind of thing. So, and that, a lot of people like Now, and I think is it like Garden of Eden or something like that? Or
Hmm.
those are a couple of other brands that I've heard of that are pretty decent. So
Yeah.
there are some good things out there, but Young Living, I, you go with what you know. And,
Yeah.
Gary was an amazing man. He really was.
Hmm.
Yep. And they
Um,
continue.
Speaking of Gary, have you ever heard of Gary Brecka?
Yes, I have. Yes, he's pretty awesome. I've seen him
Yeah.
on TikTok. I follow him on
Okay.
TikTok. A lot of
Okay.
great information.
Yeah, I heard him on a Joe Rogan podcast a few months ago, and
Hmm.
then started to listen to his Ultimate Human podcast.
Hmm.
And he's just got some amazing information out there, including a lot of free stuff you can do for yourself that, the term now is biohacking.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, it just a lot of it is just common sense and things
Hmm.
that we don't always do.
No,
And yeah,
no.
I'm amazed. I'm in my 60s now. And
Mm.
back in my 40s and going into my 50s, sleep was never a big deal to me. I mean, if I got 4 hours, cool. I used to tell people sleep is overrated and blah, blah, blah. But now, I mean, if you ask him and a lot of people that he has on his show, what's the number one thing you can do to improve your health? They're like,
Sleep.
good sleep.
Oh
Yeah.
my
And it's
gosh.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
And I noticed at this age, it's making a huge difference getting good sleep because when I
it
don't, I
is for me.
feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is for me
Amazing.
as well. Yeah.
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 The only thing that came out of COVID good for me was that I learned how to sleep again. Because
Oh,
I was just like you. 4 hours, I ran on about 4 hours of sleep.
yeah.
Sometimes two jobs, so it was
Mhm.
just, how the heck did I do that? But, and
Well, the body's younger. It can,
yeah,
there's just a
yeah,
lot
but
more
no, no,
vital
no.
energy.
Now
For it.
sleep is crucial. It really is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really, really is. It does make a difference.
They talk on that show a lot about, I think it's called vibrant wellness testing. Are
Okay.
you familiar with that?
No. Mm-mm.
I guess like the standard blood tests don't
Okay.
how like you can go in and have a standard blood test from allopathic medicine and
Hmm.
everything can be fine, but your body can still be off because there's so many other things that can be affecting it, like
Yes.
parasites and molds, heavy metals, glyphosate, all these toxins and different things in our body, heavy metals that don't show
Ugh,
up on the regular blood screen.
correct. Yeah.
And apparently, this vibrant wellness testing will test for these different things, and then there's
Wow.
ways to work with your body to detox from these. So
Yes. I mean,
that,
I'm very aware of all of the, uh, the little machines and stuff that have tested. I mean, I've done that. I've done that with friends in New York in the past. You could, I don't
mhm,
even remember the name of the machine, but actually, Kendra does a lot of that work now. She has a lot of those. She has a couple of different machines, and usually, what they do is they will be able to, not even by taking blood, test your body again energetically, and with all the things that are happening just on the layer of, top layer of your skin. But
yeah,
they can give you a report on a ton of things, like 36 reports of what's happening in your body. And you're right, it could talk about all the heavy metals that are in your body. I mean, people have no idea what's in their body.
yeah.
We don't have choice.
Microplastic,
Yeah.
PFAS.
Oh, it's
It's
bad.
thing.
It's so bad.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
bad.
I think the vibrant wellness test is actually a urinalysis
Oh, wow.
um, that they're
Okay.
able to find, what's passing through your system.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure. That would make a
yeah.
lot of sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll have to listen to him. That'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
love
well,
that. See, look, we got so much to share. Woohoo.
yeah, I think that's so important, and that's one of the things I love about doing this podcast is,
Mhm.
well, I used to own a yoga studio, and I opened up a yoga studio in 2002 when
Mhm.
yoga was like still, like one of those foo-foo things.
Yes,
Now
it
yoga is
was.
everywhere, and I
Right.
opened it up in a city in Detroit that's very much blue collar. And in fact, one of my cousins, who was a really cool guy, he was like, he's opening up a yoga studio downriver. He's like, that's sure to fail, but there in
Thanks.
2025, and even though I've left that studio, I turned it into a nonprofit, and a board
Nice.
took it over, and it's still going, for
Nice.
23 years later. But my point is that it made so many connections in that area for different people, like
Yeah.
nutritionists and healers, and it served the community in so many ways besides just
Mhm.
the regular yoga practice.
Right.
And now doing this with the podcast, I started podcasting with more and more people. So we were podcasting with people all over the world, really, in different countries,
Nice.
Africa, all these different places. Um, but then I started to centralize it more in the local area to learn
Hmm.
about people that are doing things local in Southwest Florida and to build more of a network there. And already people are starting to reach out. People that have listened to the podcast, reaching out to
Oh,
healers and acupuncturists and different people that I've had on the show. And I'm like, yes, this is what it's all
that
about,
is awesome. That
Yeah.
is
And
so
then people are
awesome.
making friendships, and it's really
And
working out great.
that's what it's about. I mean, I know when we first started in 2018, that ugly C word competition kept coming up. And I
Hmm.
thought, no, friends, no. There's something for everybody. There's someone who's going to relate to everybody. There's enough here. And if we come together, like you said, and create that big network of people, I have no problem picking up the phone and saying, hey, do you have so and so on? Because so and so on, I've got somebody here, can we set up an appointment, get them over there, that kind of thing. That, to me, that's what it's all about. It's not competition in
Absolutely.
any way. Not at all. Not at
Yeah, I
all.
agree with you wholeheartedly. It's
Hmm.
just, again, going back to that oneness thing, it's not about that
Yes.
selfless or selfish kind of way of
Hmm.
thinking. It's
Right.
more of a selfless way of thinking, and you're helping others in a way that's helping yourself.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
and uh,
Yeah. No, it's, I
huge.
mean, it's when you can do for somebody, whether it's you doing it or someone else, or you just have that connection and that resource, it just feels so good, and that
Mhm.
raises the vibration. And we need
Yeah,
that. We need that vibration up. We do.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So do you have a real a big success story of somebody that you helped that sticks out in your mind?
Uh, well, I would say my one client that I had mentioned about the kidneys and whatever, and
Mhm.
her traumas had brought her to a lot of different health issues, and she was seeing other people, and then she started seeing me, and I think, I mean, I helped her to start to understand the emotional connections to what was happening in her body. I would talk it through. The fact that she wasn't feeling like she was being judged or not heard made a huge difference for her. Um, the fact that I helped her to face some of those things that she was years was never able to do that. It would just it would
Mhm.
she would be crippled with the thought of even facing one of those people or one of those situations. um
Yeah.
that made me feel really, really good. And just the fact, I think when I closed the center, it was difficult. It was really difficult because for me, it was about the community. Right around COVID, we didn't know if we were going to be able to make it when I was taking it over. And I sat with Spirit and I said, "Listen, I don't think you want these doors to close, but I can't do this on my own. How can we get this done?" And then a grant came up, and I was able to get that grant, which helped me go forward, and keep it open. But when I closed the center, since April, I think I was up in Sarasota at a Spirit Fest or whatever, and I started to see some of the people that were always at the center, and I saw their growth. I saw how they had become so much more confident, because they had been given a place and a space to start. They had been given support, and they had been given, you know, knew that they had people behind them that were for them, and so they were able to take those first steps. And that to me was really, that let me know that I was doing and I had done what I was meant to do, and to
Absolutely.
keep that ripple going. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are
Sometimes
my those are my successes. I mean, an individual one, but then on the whole, um, just really being able to help and seeing it come to fruition is really awesome.
that is. Sometimes just getting people on the
Mhm.
right path and getting them doing those first few steps is huge. Sometimes that's all it takes, and they
Yep,
take off on their own.
that's it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. It's like pushing them out of the nest. Come on, fly, you could do it.
Well, yeah, that and a lot of times people don't, it's like with old age. Some people think that, oh, I hear it all the time and it just drives me crazy. Oh, it's part of getting old. No, sickness isn't part of getting old. If you have the right self-care, you're not gonna, your body's not gonna deteriorate
Right.
like some people's do as you're getting older.
Right.
It can stay healthy, it can stay vibrant, but you gotta work at it.
Yes.
And it's hard to
Yes.
know how to work
Yeah.
at it unless you get the right information. And
True.
it's hard to get the right
Very
information
true.
these days because we're marketed with so much baloney and stuff that's, I mean, even in the grocery stores,
Ugh.
all the stuff that's bad for you says heart healthy, and just anything that says heart healthy
Yeah.
or
But what else do we have in there?
exactly. The healthiest
I
stuff is stuff
oh,
with no
it's
health
terrible. It's
labels, like an
terrible.
avocado. You don't see a health label on an avocado. It's just an avocado.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of that, speaking of produce, though,
No.
I do want to do a
No.
shout out
No.
because my daughter actually lives up here in Michigan, where I am right now. She found a place in Southwest Florida called
Mhm.
Southwest Florida Produce. Have you heard of them?
Oh,
Have you
no.
heard of
Uh-uh.
Southwest Florida Produce? No? Okay. Southwest Florida Produce is it's
Where are
a
they?
local family farm. They
Mm.
network with a bunch of other farmers in the area, producing food that's not sprayed with pesticides. So they're growing, not in the organic
Oh,
label, but they're growing food the way it should be, healthily.
right.
And they
Correct.
have a website, and anybody in Southwest Florida can go on the site. There's no membership. You can order your produce, and they bring it to your door for $7 for of a delivery fee, which is amazing.
No way.
Yeah, so we've been doing this for about a little over a month now. We order our food before Thursday at noon. It
Okay.
shows up on Friday, and we're getting the most amazing fruit and vegetables that we know aren't sprayed and laden with pesticides. And it's like we've been eating so much of it, and we
Oh my
feel healthy,
goodness.
vibrant. The food feels tastier. It's amazing. So big shout out to Southwest Florida Produce. I hope to get the owner.
Wow. You'll have to send me that info so I can
I can
share it. I
definitely do
would
that.
love to share that. See that's
Yeah,
would love that. That's
yeah,
amazing. That's
yeah.
awesome. That's really awesome.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
another place
that'd
I
be
love here
great.
in Southwest Florida is downtown Cava. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
In
Yes.
Punta Gorda.
I've known, well, I knew the first Cava, the one in Port Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to include them in our fairs
Nice.
back in the early, the 2020s. And yeah, I used to carry a little bit of their drinks at my older shop too. So
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
the downtown Cava in Punta Gorda is wonderful. Yeah, it's a
It,
different
it is.
vibe. Um, it is, but it's a really great
Yeah.
one for sure. Hmm.
Yeah, it really is. And just giving people that, have decided to make the leap to quit drinking alcohol, which I think is huge and so healthy for people, a place that they can go and hang out and have fun and, not be around other
Hmm.
people that are drinking alcohol. And it's a great place. I love it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's a learning experience because it's not
Hmm.
just as simple as just going there and getting a drink. I mean, there's a couple of different options, but people need to become not,
Yeah.
but it makes them more knowledgeable. You're right. It takes them away from the typical euphoric feeling based on alcohol. I
Yeah.
mean, when I've had a drink at Cava, I just stay basic and it just makes me feel real relaxed,
Yeah. Yep.
and low key, which I love. So yeah,
Hmm.
no, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I enjoy the kratom sometimes too. And lately, I've been drinking the CBD tea,
Hmm.
which is really nice. There's no THC in it, and the
Oh,
CBD is so good for as an
right.
anti-inflammatory. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's nice to be able to use the plants in the way that they're meant to be used. I think
Yes.
that's really important. And so that's what the kava does. It lets the plant be used properly for the best of everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're getting close to the end of the show here. I wonder if there's any final thoughts you have for people out there.
Uh, you know, in everything that's happening, we all need to know that we're not alone. We all need to, even in the worst situations, just step back for a second and can you find even the smallest thing that is good in this situation that can help turn the tide, change the vibration. Um, and really just be as kind as you can to each other, because we're all going through it. None of us, we're not the only, it's not just me, it's not the victim, we're all going through it together. So if we hold hands and do it together, it'll be so much easier.
Perfect. I love that. So if someone's interested in checking out your rainbow therapy, how do they get a hold of you?
They can find me on sacredholistics.org. And they can find my page on Facebook, as well as just under Cathy Perez. I post from my regular page a lot as well. And they can give me a call if they'd like.
Excellent. Well, hey, Cathy, so nice to meet you here online and through this podcast episode.
Yes,
And
my friend.
I look forward to meeting you in person. And I want to thank you for your time being here
Yes,
today.
that'll be great. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you. I enjoyed it very much.